Okay, first things first, rest in peace, Uncle Phil. But for this new Uncle Phil, is he trying to take Carlton's place as the most hated? All right, welcome to Taste Take. If you're new here, we're doing season 1 Bel-Air recaps and reviews. If that's something you're into, hit that subscribe button for your boy. For my regular taste takers, let's see how we feel about Carlton's dad after this one. Get it? I said Phil, Carlton's dad, because his dad's name is Phil, and it's like I said Phil. Ugh, never mind. All right, you know the drill. Supersonic JJ Fad recap of episode 8. This is where Aunt Vi comes to visit, and she's throwing all sorts of shade. Uncle Phil's getting some political pressure because all of his family's incidents. Will's mom floats the idea of telling Will about his dad, and Viv goes crazy. Hillary breaks the Kylo contract and gets stuck with the $50,000 kill fee. Phil gives Jeffrey a new task to keep Will's dad away from Will, and Jeffrey doesn't like that. And Uncle Phil doesn't like that he doesn't like that. We got Will's awkward birthday dinner where Vi and Vivian start shouting at each other like teenagers. Then the actual teenagers, Will and Carlton, get the sisters to see each other's point of view. Will asks Jeffrey to find out what he can about his dad, and Jeffrey, who knows damn well Uncle Phil told him not to, is like, all right, I got you. That's pretty much episode 8. All right, so boom, episode 9. This one is called Can't Stop the Hustle. It was directed by Matthew Cherry, and it was written by Malcolm Spellman and Rashid Newton. This one starts out with Will in his room getting dressed. He got Jeffrey in there helping him with his tie, and he's like, yo, what's up with my dad? You found anything? And Jeffrey's like, yo, relax, I'm on it. Today is about Uncle Phil. This is really important to him. So 2 things. 1, look at Jeffrey still showing love to Uncle Phil, even though last week Uncle Phil disrespected him. And 2, as soon as Jeffrey said, today's a big day for Uncle Phil, I'm thinking he has to go on some huge political appearance, like maybe the news is coming to the house to interview the whole family, and you know the family been wilding out, so everybody gotta be on their P's and Q's. No, they're just going to church. It's just Sunday. And of course, if you're running for office, like even an appearance at church could be a big deal, but they didn't even have him talk to the church. Like, why not just say this is important, like it's a speech opportunity or something like that? You just sit in the crowd like a regular day. Anyway, I was confused about that, but not as confused as I was when I saw Uncle Phil's stupid ass church hat. Anyway, so the whole family gets to church, and the reverend's outside talking to the people, and everybody trying to get a word in. Will tells him he's ready for the message. Ashley tells him he needs more people from the LGBTQ plus community in positions of power outside of the choir. Phil wants him to set up a mobilize the vote van. Everybody wants something from the Reverend. Reverend, you better stand your ground. Tell people to relax, just enjoy the message. Then we finally get to see Karrueche. I mean, like, y'all been waiting a long time for this, right? I saw at least one person in the comment was saying, like, where's she at? Like, it's not just me that was waiting to see her. Like, obviously, like, I thought we were all kind of waiting for that moment. Anyway, so she's here playing this woman named Ivy, and I still don't really know what she's doing there. We know that she's an influencer with 10.2 million followers. We don't know on what platform. And I thought she was going to be like Hillary's friend, but she kind of dissed her when Hillary asked for the collab. And speaking of collab, a Thirsty Chef, Karrueche crossover? Like, where do I sign up? No, I'm just kidding. Obviously, Hillary doesn't do Thirsty Chef anymore. Can y'all just relax, please? Then here go Will like, hey, what's up? I'm Will Smith. You see what happens when you date the first person you meet in a new city? I'm just kidding. Lisa's great. All right, so we get inside the church, and the family's about to sit down, and for some reason, Will thinks now is the right time to ask Carlton if he should be looking for his dad. Even Carlton's like, yo, bro, like right now, I'm about to do this solo. And speaking of that solo, speaking of that freaking solo, all right, wait first. Let's just remember that it's not so crazy that Carlton will be singing, because don't forget, in the Fresh Prince, he had a lot of moments.
Lonely, I'm Mr. Lonely. I have nobody for my own. Since she's got jungle fever, they got jungle fever.
Boy got skills. So anyway, the new Carlton goes on stage, and we're all like, all right, let's see what you got. But the real actor, Ali Charlatan, is an actual singer and music producer, so he knows what he's doing. So he goes up there, he starts singing, and I'm like, oh, like, he's valid. I'm thinking we're about to have another moment like, but instead we get a moment like,
Sat down and cried and watched
this dude pulls the ultimate choke job in front of the whole church, in front of his whole family. Ugh, you hate to see it happen, man. Uncle Phil ain't winning that election. It was nice though when he had that meltdown and it was his mom that ran after him. She's so damn nice, man. Uncle Phil don't deserve a good black woman like that. So yeah, we're back at home and Ashley's asking her mom like, yo, is Carlton all right? Like that shit was looking brazy out there. And her mom's like, yeah, no, he's fine. And Ashley's like, are you sure? Because I feel like you guys just tell me that, but you don't mean it. And how freaking ironic is that, Miss Ashley? Because the next line is Aunt Viv asking her how come she's been so involved in LGBTQ plus rights. And Ashley's like, huh? No, I haven't. Climate change too. It matters. All of it matters. You could be into more than one cause, obviously. Like, why'd I be into LGBTQ plus stuff? Yeah, the point is like her mom just wants to know the truth and wants you to feel comfortable coming, out to her. But Ashley stays strong and she's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And then Aunt Viv's like, all right, whatever. Aunt Viv, you better go ask Hillary. Speaking of Hillary, the next scene is her and Will in the kitchen eating chicken and waffles. Is this leftover Roscoe's? I guess Uncle Phil finally made it back. Anyway, Will's like, damn, Carlton's out there looking brazy. And she's like, yeah, I hope he's okay. And then Will's like, in his head, he's like, should I snitch? Should I snitch? Should I snitch? So he snitches. And he's like, I mean, he does like to party. And then Hillary's like, yeah, we'll be turning up sometimes or whatever. And he's like, no. He likes to party with cocaine. So Hillary's like, oh, nah, you better put that chicken down and go talk to him. So he goes to find Carlton in his room playing video games. And I don't know how Uncle Phil ain't ground him for embarrassing the whole family like that in front of the whole church. But I digress. He tells Will that he's fine and that he ran off stage because he didn't eat breakfast and it was hot up there. Okay. Then he finally tells Will, like, look, I got anxiety and the drugs help me cope with my anxiety. Listen, I'm no pharmacist and I know Xanax is for anxiety, but I don't think the doctor told him to chop it up and snort it with cocaine. I don't think he's doing it right. But Will is there being all supportive, like, listen, man, whenever you need me, I'm here. Then we get a quick and potentially pointless scene with Hillary and Jazz at the influencer house. She tells Jazz to come through with her to come pick up some of the stuff she left over there. Like, do you think that Kyle's gonna call the cops and say she stole that stuff? Because if not, this was pointless because all we get here is her inviting Jazz back to her hotel. Back at the mansion, we're in Will's room and Jeffrey comes in with a packet and some papers inside. And he hands it to Will and he's like, this is about your dad. And he's like, is he alive? He's like, oh yeah, and well. What does that mean? So anyway, Jeff's about to hand it to him and he's like, look, man, just know, with great power comes great responsibility. No, I'm just kidding. He said, just know that if you go down this path, it's gonna affect the whole family. The next scene, we're with Uncle Phil, Jeffrey, and Steven, the campaign manager. And Steven's telling Uncle Phil, like, look, bro, we finally got the proof we need to bury Fred in the debate. This is the proof that he was cheating on his wife while she was dying of lupus. And that's exactly what I said, remember? And honestly, if Uncle Phil really wanted a leg up in this election, why not just make one of those cheesy political commercials where they're like, Fred Wilkes was sliding on his wife Gail with his new wife Angela while his previous wife had lupus. Is that the kind of man you want as district attorney? No, you don't. Because when there's a Phil, there's a way. And you could take that to the banks. I be saying stuff. Anyway, Uncle Phil's like, Jeffrey, what do you think? You're being very quiet. What should I do? And Jeffrey's like, I don't know, man. I just don't think we should have two black men tearing each other down to win an election. And he's not wrong. Because Uncle Phil knows that he's not as squeaky clean as he thinks he is. So it's going to be fighting fire with fire. So Uncle Phil's like, damn, you both give me a lot to think about. But let's put a pin in that because we got to get into the best scene of the episode. Quite possibly the best scene of the entire series. We get two fire cameos in the form of the OG Aunt Vi, Vern Watson Johnson, that's a black ass name, and the second Aunt Viv, Daphne Maxwell Reed. And before you even start complaining that it should have been the OG Aunt Viv, just get out of here. Because I bet they even asked her, and she's like, no, if I can't play the actual Aunt Viv in the show, I'm not doing it. I bet they even cast the OG Aunt Viv And then she got on set and she started beefing with Jabari Banks, and everybody was like, damn, it's a low-key pattern. Anyway, that's a tangent. So they're playing two women that run the art fellowship that Reed told Aunt Viv to apply for. You know Reed be supporting his women. They ask her why she stopped painting, and she tells them that even though she loved painting, she hated all the stuff that came with it, being a black woman in the space. Then they ask her what brought her back to painting, and she gives all the credit to Will coming to live with her, which is crazy. And she's like, he's so bold and unapologetic, like he just does what he wants. Like, I used to be like that. I could still be like that. So they explain to her like they wanted to offer her a fellowship before she even walked in. But they tell her it is a big commitment, so they give everybody 24 hours to give their answer. And don't think I'm not gonna address that moment. You know the moment. It was a scene where Vivian is showing her their art, and they got a painting of James Avery, aka the OG Uncle Phil. Come on, man. And they made it a point to have Daphne show how much it affected her. Like, these guys are good. These guys are good. That was a scene right there. That was a scene. Next scene, we're back at the mansion, and Will pulls up on Uncle Phil with the packet that Jeffrey gave him. And don't ask me why Jeffrey didn't just tell him, like, bro, like, keep this between us. Jeffrey. Anyway, Will tells Uncle Phil he doesn't want to open it. So you telling me you had Jeffrey going behind his boss back, digging all this up?
Well, then all that was for nothing?
But yeah, he tells Uncle Phil he's been way more of a father figure than his real dad ever was. I mean, like, honestly, like, anyone you've known since the age of 4 has probably been more of a father figure than... Okay. But here's my problem. Does Uncle Phil really deserve all that yet? All he did was give him tickets to a D-Smoke concert and chicken and waffles for his birthday. At least Aunt Viv got him off-white Jordans. Okay, let's get serious. We all know that they're playing off that iconic scene in The Fresh Prince when Will's dad comes and plays him and leaves him again. But at the end of that scene, what it really does is bring Will and Phil closer. That scene in the original Fresh Prince took place after 4 seasons. That's 4 seasons of relationship building. I just can't imagine that Phil's been so influential in just a few months when the rest of his family that he done known his whole life is complaining. Like, and Viv's like, bro, you don't be around. You don't be letting me paint. Carlton's like, bro, you don't know I do cocaine to cope with my anxiety? This dude is doing dope to cope. So y'all let me know, did they rush this scene having it just right away in season 1? Or do we get more drama when Lou eventually does come out and they have that same scene? Like, it could still hit. Also, do we think that Will Smith is gonna play Lou, Will's dad? Do we want that? Do I want that? Do y'all want that? Then we go back to Will and Carlton. Will tells him that he's not looking for his dad anymore. He's lying. Carlton tells him that he stopped him from using drugs today and that he's done with that stuff. He's lying. Like, is it that easy to stop doing cocaine? Like, please, rehab. I'm addicted to cocaine. Help. And they're like, well, have you tried flushing it? But now there's probably some kids that watch the show that are struggling with that stuff in real life. I hope the show's not implying that you could just quit on your own whenever you want. Anyway, then Will's telling Carlton he hasn't heard from Lisa. And I don't think it's wrong for Will to be dating Carlton's ex. I think it's weird that Will is dating the first woman he saw in LA that wasn't his cousin. But what's also weird is that you're telling Carlton about your relationship problems. Like, that's probably not what we're gonna do. Because one day, you're gonna get the wrong type of advice. I'm just kidding. I know Will's not asking about that personal stuff. Plus, we could probably assume that Carlton never smashed that thing. Huh? Who said that? Anyway, it's all Fred who won't let Lisa talk to Will. He found out the real reason that Will's in Bel-Air, and she's like, you're lying. And he's like, all right, go ask him. But before she could do that, we get the heavyweight matchup of the episode. And I'm not talking about the debate. I'm talking about Phil versus Jeffrey. Because Phil is pissed, and he doesn't know why Jeffrey thought it was cool to go behind his back and disobey him. And Uncle Phil's feeling all good because he's like, Will didn't even want to open it. See? I was right. And then Jeffrey's like, did it ever occur to you that he didn't want to open it alone? Dang, Jeffrey, that's a good point. But Uncle Phil don't want to hear that shit. And he's like, you work for me. Don't get mad because you left your own boy behind. What? So we got some story to uncover with Jeffrey's kid. But don't forget, that's also a Fresh Prince callback to when this creep came to town trying to punk his dad. Oh, Braxton P. Hart in the brig had a... Anyway, then Uncle Phil had the audacity, the tenacity, the unmitigated gall to mush my dog Jeffrey in the chest.
There it is. That's a fucking mistake. He don't know it yet, but I'm gonna beat his fucking...
But before Jeffrey could go all War of 1812 on this dude, Uncle Phil tells him he's fired because he can't be trusted anymore. That's cold. That was actually hard to watch, man. Like, you don't want to see these two fight, man. It's supposed to be boys, man. And then that angry hug, too. You ever hug someone that angry? I never did an angry hug like that. There was a lot of anger in that hug, and there was love in that hug, too. It was love and anger in one hug. Damn, that was a good scene. Last couple scenes here, we see Viv doing her thing, painting in her little art room, minding her own business. Like I told you last time, it's probably her safe space. She just be going there to chill and kick back. And here come Uncle Phil barging through like, yo, Will doesn't want to know about his dad. All right, bro, I'm painting, but we could talk about this later. Then she's like, what's this family emergency that Jeffrey has all of a sudden? And he's like, I don't know. Bruh, you are skating on some very thin ice, mister. Why is he lying so much? What happened? Why he didn't tell her the truth? So then Vivian realizes that with no Jeffrey and with Phil as DA, she has no time for this fellowship. And then Phil's like, no, I could step up. I could do this.
Halfway.
But there's really no time to talk about this now because he got to head out for his debate with Fred. Don't you see the theme here? So he leaves. And does Vivian think that her husband's going to step up to the plate and really hold it down so she could do that fellowship? Hell no. She calls Janice immediately and starts word vomiting about all the things she has to do and how she can't do this fellowship. And Janice is like, girl, just relax. You have to take the 24 hours. That's why we gave you 24 hours. Take the time. We're not even going to take an answer before the 24 hours. So just get off my phone and think about it. Downstairs, Lisa pulls up at the house, flashing Will's mugshot. So she's there being all dramatic. Even Carlton's like, Lisa, just calm down. And she's like, shut up, Carlton. What the hell? So she's like, I can't believe my dad was right. Like, girl, your dad is the chief of police. Say what you will, but this nigga's gonna know if someone got arrested. So she's like, I can't believe this. We had sex. I don't even know you. Like, enough with the theatrics. Anyway, I guess he calms her down. And she's like, yo, my dad's gonna use this in the debate tonight. Uncle Phil's about to get cooked. Last scene of the episode here, Will and Carlton race down to the debate. The worst acting you've ever seen in your life is this stupid security guard that comes down and he's like, you guys can't get in here. And like, if it was really gonna stop them from getting in time, then cool. But then Steven comes out and he's like, yo, I got your text. Y'all good. So what was the point? Anyway, so they find Uncle Phil. They were breathing all heavy. Uncle Phil, Dad, you gotta call the debate. Fred knows why Will's here. He's gonna expose you. You're gonna get cooked. And Uncle Phil's like, just chill. Just relax. Why Uncle Phil's so chill? Why you so calm? He's like, I got something for that. So we all thinking like, yo, he's gonna drop that ether. So we all assume Uncle Phil is talking about, using that cheating scandal as soon as he gets on the ropes. Even though, like, I guess when I walked up, I would be like, look, bro, I got the cheating thing. You got the Will thing. Like, let's both just not say it because I'm going to cook you. And if you cook me and I cook you, we both cooked. But Phil's just acting so cool, like just straight unbothered. So he goes out and walks right onto that debate stage. Honestly, it got to the point where I thought he was going to go out there and Slim Shady this thing. Just walk out, tell the whole crowd that he helped Will, then look Fred right in the eye and say,
here, tell these people something they don't know about me.
But he doesn't. This fool drops out of the race, tells the crowd that he wants to focus on his family and that Fred Wilkes has his 100% support. What? Then he walks off the stage, hugs Vivian, and tells her, you better take that fellowship. So tell me again, why you fired Jeffrey? That's pretty much episode 9. So what's my take? I'm going to give Bel-Air season 1, episode 9, 5 stars. In my opinion, the best episode of the season so far. And it moves the story forward in a way that I have no idea where it's going. Like Phil being a creep to Jeffrey, lying to his wife, all to then drop out of the race so his wife could finally follow her dreams. Like, where is that going? That's a complex issue, and there's a couple of those. For an episode that I think started off so weak with that church scene, minus Carucci, and of course Carlton running off, it really leveled up after that. So where do we go from here? Who the hell is Ivy? Is she single? Is Carlton really done with drugs? Is Hillary going to get in trouble for taking her shit back? Is Will really done looking for his dad? 1 episode left. You know they're going to leave us with the cliffhanger of all cliffhangers. Imagine episode 10 ends and then the credits go and then they got a post-credit scene like in the Marvel movies and you see Will chilling, maybe shooting some hoops outside or something, and then you hear, hello, son. But it's Will Smith's voice? Sheesh. That would be crazy. But we'll see you next week. As always, thanks for checking out Taste Steak. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like and that subscribe button. In the comments, I guess the question of the week was kind of like, do we want to see Will Smith play Lou as the dad, or do you not care about that? But then I guess just overall, like, what do y'all think is going to happen next week? Because, like, we know that there's more than one season of this show. They already signed on for 2. But, like, they're going to have to give me something juicy for episode 10. So what do y'all think is going to happen? I don't even know. What the hell, Karushi? That was so random. Who are you? Where are you? All right, just kidding. Thanks for the time, y'all. Peace.